Following on Hillary Clinton's going after Trump for being the world's leading ISIS recruiter, which may well be true. Here is Bernie Sanders talking about another effect that Donald Trump has.
And somebody like a Trump comes along and says, I know the answers. The answer is that all of the Mexicans, they're criminals and rapists. We got to hate the Mexicans. Those are your enemies. We hate all the Muslims because all of the Muslims are terrorists. We got to hate the Muslims. Meanwhile, the rich get richer. So what I say to those people who go to Donald Trump's rallies, understand, he thinks a low minimum wage in America is a good idea. He thinks low wages are a good idea. I believe we stand together to address the real issues facing this country, not allow them to divide us by race or where we come from. Let's create an America that works for all of us, not the handful on top.
Senator, thank you.
That is the point. And just an interesting anecdote about that. As you know, Louise and I live on a boat in the marina down here in a 30-year-old boat, but or older actually, whatever. 1986. But a couple blocks from where we live, there's this really nice Indian restaurant. It's called Masala Art, and we had to walk over to the drugstore and the grocery store and the laundromat on Saturday and pick up clothes and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. And so we stopped at this Indian restaurant to grab a snack. They've got it was around 3 in the afternoon, and they had we had a glass of wine and some appetizers, and it was great. And we were sitting at the bar, and we were kind of in the middle of the bar, and down at the end of the bar, there were 6 or 7 African Americans who were having an animated conversation about politics. And one of them, as we're sitting there, one of them kind of catches my eye, points at me and says, "RT?" And, I do a television program, which is syndicated both by Free Speech TV and RT, and which is an international network that is funded out of Russia. And although it's my own show, and they carry it, but I have complete editorial control over it. And I said, yeah, and then a couple of two other of the group said, hey, we watch you too, because our show is over the air. The RT show, our television show every night, it's on every night at 7 o'clock, is over the air here in Washington, D.C. And so they came over and we started this political conversation. And the one guy said, his name was Bruce, he said, I was seriously thinking of volunteering for the Hillary Clinton campaign. He said, we've got to have a Democratic president. We can't have a Republican. I mean, these people are crazy. And I was seriously thinking of voting for or volunteering to help out with the Hillary campaign. He said, until I saw Bernie Sanders being introduced by Killer Mike, the rapper down in Atlanta. And he said, that man made so much sense. And he spoke to me and to my concerns. And, and we talked about the sit-down interview, the little 20-minute sit-down interview that Killer Mike and Bernie did, where Bernie talks about, here's how it works.
In the 1950s, what state in this country had the lowest paid white workers? What state? Take a guess.
I would imagine Georgia or Alabama.
Try Mississippi.
That makes sense.
Okay. What did the whole system tell these white workers who were the lowest paid white workers in the United States of America? In other words, these workers were being exploited.
Yeah.
What they said is, you can go to that water fountain and drink, and the black guy can't. You can go to that bathroom, you can go to that restaurant. Man, you got it good.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're paying you nothing. So you divided blacks from whites, in this case, whites from blacks.
Absolutely.
And this is what they always do. Then they go and they say, see that woman up there? She's an uppity woman. She wants your job, man.
Yeah.
You're not going to let that woman take your job. You got to divide from her. And that guy's gay over there, man.
Yeah.
You got to hate him.
Yeah.
Going to destroy your marriage because he's gay. You got to hate him. Oh, and there's a person speaks with the Spanish, a little bit Spanish. Yeah. Came from Mexico. You're supposed to hate that, man. You're not going to work with those people. That has been what the ruling class has done over and over again. Why? because they understand when we come together, you fight for decent wages. You fight for education for your kids. You fight to strengthen Social Security. We win, hands down. Yes. But if they divide us up, they win.
Marvelous moments for me. I have a lot of, I get in a lot of political conversations with people, although I will not do it in email. People try to bait me or try to whatever in email, and I ain't gonna happen. I don't. But sitting at the bar. But it was a fascinating, and I thought. Anyhow, he says now after seeing that and after seeing Bernie, he said the introduction got me, and then I watched the speech, and he said now I'm going to volunteer for Bernie, and I was like, whoa, this is serious stuff. This is genuine man on the street. It was kind of man on the street poll of my little corner of the universe, where my neighborhood is well, down in the marina, it's probably 5% African American, but in the neighborhood around, it's probably 60% African American. And so it was my man on the street interview. To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.